Good morning, Mountains. We are live here in Warfield, Kentucky. Darryl, McCoy, and JJ Pruitt here as we are here on this beautiful Tuesday morning here in the mountains. Want to thank everybody for joining us. JJ, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. I actually got a couple of good hours of sleep, and I'm feeling very energetic today. What about yourself?
I am. I don't know. No, I didn't get much sleep last night, man. Yesterday, my daughter had tryouts, basketball tryouts. I've been wanting her to play basketball forever, and she come home the other day from school, and she's like, she said, "Dad," she said, "I did something without your permission." I said, "Okay." I said, "What is it?" She said, "They called over the intercom. Anybody wanting to play basketball, come to the gym." She said, and some of my friends went, so I went. And she never has showed interest in basketball. I begged her to play, and she just never has. And then yesterday was tryouts. Now, don't forget, my daughter's 10 years old now, and she had tryouts. So all these other girls have played basketball, and my daughter is starting from scratch. So I'm worried she's going to make the team.
Well, if she's anything like her older brother, I think she's going to have, she's not going to have any problems making the team.
Well, she come to me and yesterday after tryouts, and they had signups, and then they got to come home, and then they had tryouts, and she said, "Hey," she said, "I really need you to go with me." I said, "Why?" She said, "I think it'll help them make the team if they know who my dad is." And so I had to go up there with her, and then also my son had workouts yesterday evening, so I had to go down with him, then come back home last night. And by the time we got done doing show prep, it was 2 a.m. And so I'm running on about 5 hours sleep.
Well, one thing that I've learned about you is you don't really need much sleep. You're like a vampire.
I wish I had that meme, that little boy in the car seat right now.
Yeah.
Where he says, "Oh, bull, you know what?" I wish I had that meme, because I need the sleep, but it don't happen much. Guys, this segment is brought to you courtesy of Punk's Tires, located in Virgie, Kentucky. Punk's Tires is your go-to place for all your tire care needs. They'll make sure your vehicle is road ready. JJ, today is August the 13th. What happened this day in history?
So we're going to start off with, in 1521, the fall of the Aztec Empire. So on this day in 1521, Spanish conquistador Hernan Cortes captured what is now called Mexico City after a 93-day siege, thereby ending the Aztec Empire and winning Mexico for the crown of Spain, which I thought was very interesting. We're going to go with 1898. The U.S. Army took control of the Philippine port of Manila during the Spanish-American War. And lastly, this one was pretty cool. In 1967, the crime drama Bonnie and Clyde, starring Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway as the outlaw couple, opened in New York City, and it pioneered a new era of filmmaking, tearing down the barriers of the depiction of violence and sexuality. So,
Okay.
yeah, Bonnie and Clyde, that's a well-known story, and
I watched the movie many times as I was a kid. I grew up I used to love old mob movies.
Yeah, I've watched it many times, and I've watched many remakes. I feel like I've watched probably 5 or 6 different versions of it.
Yeah, it seems like I'm trying to think where I was that I seen the Bonnie and Clyde car one time. I can't remember where it was at though.
Had to be Tennessee, maybe.
It may have been
I think it's in the Crime Museum.
Yeah, it could be. It could be at the Alcatraz Museum there.
Yeah, I think I seen where one of those pistols sold for like $500,000. That was involved in the shooting.
I'd pay for that before I'd pay for Lil Wayne's diary.
Yeah, I'll tell you, somebody in Saudi Arabia is going to buy that.
No, nobody's going to waste money on that, JJ.
We will see.
So as we move on, I got this day in history. I got a couple here myself.
Okay.
In 1889, if you see this baby right here, a lot of kids don't know what this is, but the first coin-operated phone was invented.
No
in
way.
1889. Then
Wow.
we also, guys, in 1918, Opha May Johnson was the first woman to ever enlist into the military. Opha May Johnson, breaking down barriers herself for women and for years to come. So big shout out to Opha May Johnson.
That is awesome.
JJ, whose birthday's today?
We are going to go with, first we're going to go with DeMarcus Cousins. I would imagine you're familiar with his game.
I know Boogie personally.
We're going to go with Fidel Castro. And we're also going to go with Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh, Alfred Hitchcock presents. I remember Nick at Night when I was a kid. I used to hated Alfred Hitchcock. Because when cable first come along, you had Nickelodeon, and then at nighttime it would once it got 12 o'clock, it would be Alfred Hitchcock presents.
It was Nick at Night.
And I hated that. I hated Alfred Hitchcock, and but the shows that come on before that, I was a big fan of. Trying to think what the shows was that come on right before Alfred Hitchcock. There was like 3 shows in a row that would come on, and I was big fans of. But then, as soon as Alfred Hitchcock come on, I knew it was time to go to bed.
Wasn't Alfred Hitchcock? Wasn't he known for the Twilight Zone as well? Or was he the guy that made that?
I don't think so. He had a show kind of the same thing, Alfred Hitchcock Presents or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know why I can't
or it might have been Alfred Hitchcock's Twilight Zone or something. I don't know. But anyways, Alfred Hitchcock was there was 2 times when I was kids. When I was a younger kid, I always knew it's time to go to bed when MASH come on. And then as a older kid, it was Alfred Hitchcock. So, definitely. Now, as I go on to my Facebook birthdays, I'm trying to look here. I ain't got a healthy list today. Chad Fields, I know Chad Fields. He's a coach at Shelby Valley. Harrison Fields' father, Mark Bowlings. Aiden Tackett, he's a mountain athlete, but trying to think, I don't really got any more.
I'm gonna check on mine and see if I have any birthdays on mine. Let's see.
Any more notable birthdays?
No. I don't have.
Nobody cares about your friends, JJ. Nobody cares about your friends.
Fair enough.
I'm just kidding. As we're going on, guys, here, want to remind everybody, yesterday's show, once again, JJ put a Olympic video. After I told him not to, he put an Olympic video on there. And the video, so our show from yesterday, starting at 11 o'clock, I started getting messages. Didn't you guys do the show today? We always watch this at lunch. And then I started at 3 o'clock. We always watch this when we get off work. Well, we had to delete the show because there was an Olympic video on there. Well, we didn't get video of the Olympics. So don't think it's like, this was video that somebody videoed and put sound effects and everything over. So you wouldn't think that Mark Zuckerberg would have a problem with it. But he did. And so some of the topics that we go over today are topics that we covered yesterday. So we just want to remind you folks that tuned in, listen, bear with us because we want to make sure that a couple of these topics get out there that people want to hear. Okay. Sound good, JJ?
Absolutely. And I personally want to thank my main man, Darryl McCoy, for throwing me under the bus as usual, always coming in the clutch.
Always.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what do you want to go with first?
Well, I want to go with, I'm a little upset with you, JJ.
What did I do this time?
So the company went and bought JJ shirts yesterday, and he's sitting there without a D&D shirt on. So And not to mention, the company paid $120 for JJ 500 business cards, and JJ okayed the business cards. So just to tell people at home, I'm a little upset with my guy JJ right now.
Well, whenever the income tax season comes, he'll be able to write that off as a business write-off, so he'll be good to go.
Yeah, well, it don't help you now. But it still don't tell us why JJ don't have a D&D polo on.
I was saving it for the very first game.
What we'll do, JJ, is we got to look presentable today. So during commercial break, I need you to slide that polo on. Can you do that?
Absolutely. I'll have to go out to the car to get it. But yes, if you can give me 3 commercials, I'm pretty sure I can make it happen.
You think you can run to your car and back in 3 commercials?
How long are the give me 3 1-minute commercials and I can do it.
I ain't got 3 1-minute. I got 3 maybe 30, 45-second ones.
Okay, well, we might have to stretch it out to maybe 4.
You get 3.
Challenge accepted.
All right. So moving on, JJ. Speaking of that, it is time for our first commercial break. When we come back, we're going to tell you what one of our local media announcers did that has a couple football teams in an uproar. Make sure you come right back and join us here, guys, on the Startup Morning Show. Winning tire shop that focuses on customer service that's family owned and family operated. Stop by and see our friends Jeremy and Chasta at Punk's Tires. If you have a hectic work schedule and you're looking for a non-stressful, convenient way to buy tires, take advantage of Punk's Tires appointment Saturdays. If they don't have the tire you're looking for, they guarantee it to have it the next day. Punk's Tires can take care of all your needs in tires, wheels, wheel alignments, brakes, rotors, minor mechanic work, and more. They'll treat you like family from the second you walk through the door. Come see us in Virgie, Kentucky, or give us a call at 606-639-TIRE. That's 606-639-TIRE.
Wear a lot of hats. There are coaches, volunteers, church members, neighbors, someone who's there when you need them, especially when you need them most. That may be a lot of hats, but they're all the perfect fit. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
And we're back here on the Startup Morning Show. JJ, you didn't even need 3. You done it in 2, so you redeemed yourself.
Well, at 35, I still got my speed a little bit, so yeah, I'm in good shape. I feel good. I feel much more presentable.
There you go, the redeem team. JJ popping the collar with his new D&D polo. So big shout out to Rick Hughes and High Tech Graphics in Prestonsburg for hooking us up. Remember, guys, make sure you shop local. Again, guys, this segment here is sponsored by our good friends at Tug Valley Wellness Clinic. Royal health is very important. You don't want to have to travel far if you or a loved one is in a medical emergency. So it's good to have people like Tanya Chaffins and our friends at Tug Valley Wellness Clinic right there in Lenoir, West Virginia. Absolutely. JJ, as we're moving on, we talked yesterday about this, but I want to talk again. It started spreading like wildfire, and I told you heard it first here on the show, about the topic. But a local radio announcer, I'm still not going to use his name because it's alleged, and it was a tough situation he found himself in. Media 101. And whenever I first trained you, what was the first thing that I told you?
always be aware of a hot mic. Like, always make sure that the microphone is turned off, because you just never know when, you might end up saying something that you don't want to be heard on the air.
That's it. And so one of our local media colleagues found out the hard way that you should always make sure that you have it on mute, or that, during work, maybe just don't say things that you don't want people to hear, because the local radio station, 94.3, found themselves in some hot water after one of their commentators thought he was saying something behind a commercial wall, and it come across the air. And I got the video, but I don't want to play it because there's some very vulgar language in it. But he basically said that the Paintsville Tigers was the crappiest team in their coverage area. And then he went on to say, whoa, wait a minute. No, McGoffin County is in our coverage area, right? Oh, yeah, Paintsville's not the worst. McGoffin's effing terrible. And, and then it went on to say the coach should retire, that McGoffin County is so bad the coach should retire. So very heated words there used toward the McGoffin County Hornets and Paintsville Tigers, JJ.
I mean, at the end of the day, we all have our opinions about certain things, and we may have opinions that we don't want to be on the record. But at the same time, whenever you're on the job, just if you have strong opinions like that, just either don't say anything at all, or just choose your words wisely, and just always be aware of your surroundings. That's like whenever, we're covering games and stuff like that. We've had maybe one or two instances before, our morning show as well, where my mother has texted me and told me, like, look, we can still hear your audio. So, I mean, you just never know when, even though it says that the microphone's off, that it's really going to be on.
Yeah, and listen, I don't want to, I mean, listen, I am by far not taking up for this guy, because what Absolutely. He done was wrong. I wouldn't ever talk about kids in that language. I think if he would have said the same thing that he said, but not use the cuss words to describe them, that it wouldn't been as bad. It would have been bad just because parents and, administration sometimes get a little anal, but it wouldn't have been as bad if he wouldn't have used because the language that he did to describe them, because then it, just added more emphasis on it. But, I've said, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm perfect. I wouldn't, I care about our teams, and I wouldn't say that about any of our teams. I might say, yeah, they're probably the worst team in our area. I might would say that, if I'm talking to somebody about, a certain team or describe a certain situation. But, first of all, I don't think either one of them teams are terrible at all, but second of all, your first day at D&D, your first ball game, you caught me in a situation where you brought us back from commercial break a little earlier, and I had a lot of stuff going on. I was trying to fix cameras, trying to fix cords, trying to fix sound, and JJ brought us back from commercial break early, and he didn't tell me, and I was like, and I said the S word on air, and but luckily, it was right there at the end, and that happens sometimes. So I say, listen, at the end of the day, I don't know what the consequences are for this dude. I hate to see anybody lose their job, but I don't know how the company can keep him after that. But I hope that it don't go into this guy losing his job. I hope that. I don't know what the perfect median is, because them schools ain't going to want that company at their ball games, especially if that dude's there. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is here, but I don't want to see the guy lose his job, But, also this company is a little, because this guy, he made his claim to fame by an outrageous moment that he blew up, and you knew that something like this could be possible, or you would have thought that it would be dangerous putting him on a microphone to begin with. But I somewhat like the guy, so I don't want to see anything bad happen to anybody like that. My uncle always told me, don't mess with a man's job. So, hopefully, they find a good median. And the main thing is he should have already come out and apologized publicly. That's the big thing. I know some of the administrators reach out to him and he denied it, but, that's not the way to go about it. You say it, claim it, and, apologize publicly.
Absolutely. And there's been plenty of people on the radio and in the media that have said crazy, outlandish things, and, they're still on there. So in this situation, I mean, a public apology, possibly a suspension just for using inappropriate language. Maybe I would imagine that that's against policy. And then maybe in 2 or 3 weeks, people begin to slowly, I won't say forget about it, but maybe put it behind them.
Yeah, I hope it works out for all parties in that, but I do hate that the kids, because that's got to make the kids feel terrible at Paintsville and McGoffin County. So I do hate that, man. That's horrible. And listen, McGoffin County is going to be good, or they're not going to be really good, but they're going to be solid. John DeRossa has things rolling there. So, at the end of the day, I like what DeRossa's doing. It's works. Give him another year or two. Once these middle school kids get acclimated, McGoffin County's going to be one of the better teams in our area. So here we go. On Point, Carla Booth says, thanks for all you guys do on Point, and now the OPB Swish. Carla, our connection and partnership with you is very vital. I mean, we cherish it from day one at D&D. We have worked with you On Point, and we've kind of grew together here in the mountains. So, being able to work with you with OPB Swish, this season we've not actually got to do everything we wanted to do, because it's kind of threw us behind with getting sponsors and stuff like that. We want to make sure the OPB Swish, that we got cameras all around the court, bringing you different views. And it's been tough because, all the scheduling has been right when I've had to be out of town these last couple of games. So, you, KJ, and Kevin has done an amazing job. But if we could add one more guy to that broadcast, we could really blow it out of the water. So we're hoping that we can close out strong at Hazard. But the OPB Swish, JJ, they end up taking down the Atlanta Angels the other night, 79-52. OPB Swish are 4-2 on the season with that win. Carla Booth, 7 for 8 from the 3-point line, 23 points on the night, 10 assists, and she also, I think, had 11 rebounds. 7 rebounds. So as you're moving and you look at Carla's stats, she wasn't the only one going off. Giovanna Layfield had 16 points, Kennedy Stacy with 13 points, and Deja Thornton had 11 points on the night. They'll move on to face Gastonia on the road August 19th. When you watched On Point the other day, what was your thoughts about the Swish?
I thought Carla turned into the Olympic version of Steph Curry. I knew she was a killer, and I knew she was nice, but I didn't know, seeing that in person, just seeing her go off like that. I mean, she was just in her element, and I was really proud of her for being as aggressive as she was, because I know that her first instinct is to try to get all of her teammates involved, but she can easily flip that switch and go off, and that's exactly what she did last week.
Well, let's look right now. The WABA power rankings, don't forget, the OPB Swish is an expansion team, and they find themselves third in the power rankings behind DC and Raleigh. And if you don't remember the Raleigh Aces, they have beat OPB Swish. They're the only 2 losses that they've suffered, and one of them was behind a hot shooting night that seen them shooting 84% from the 3-point line.
That was insane. I still can't get over that. I mean, when that team showed up with only 6 players, I said, this team is either going to be really bad or really, really good. And what I seen that day was something I'll probably never see again. 80% or 84% for the 3-point line. And this isn't just them going 8 for 10. They shot, about 33s or something like that, Darryl?
I think they was something like 24 or 26 for 32 or something like that.
Yeah, and when you're playing against a team that's doing that, it's just look, I mean, there ain't nothing I can do about that. I mean, no matter what defense that they were playing, there was one possession where this girl, she did a pump fake, and then she took one dribble and did a fade away from the 3-point line. And whenever she switched that, I was thinking like, they're not going to miss anything.
No,
I mean,
no, that was a rough night, and the thing was, it was the home opening for the Swish, so they had to redeem themselves with the big win the other day. And now their next home game, don't forget, their next home game will be in Hazard at Memorial Gymnasium. So the Hazard folks, make sure you come out, not just Hazard, everybody around the mountains come out. I think it's August 25th. Make sure you come out to the gymnasium there in Hazard, and let's cheer on the Swish and make sure that their last regular season home game is a splash. If they can get these next couple of wins, if I'm not mistaken, Carla, I think she said on there that they may get a extra home game in the first round of the playoffs if they can win these next two. So make sure you get behind the Swish.
Can you imagine attending a home playoff game? I mean, can you imagine how intense that's going to be?
Oh, yeah, it's going to be huge, and I can't wait. And, the thing is this league, they're ranked third out of 16 teams. This league's bigger than the WNBA.
Yeah, and for them to already be in the top three and them being an expansion team, I mean, that's really impressive. And we will get to cover the playoff game as well if they get a home one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that'll be cool.
Yep. So as we're moving on here, yesterday, I don't know if you remember, but we always do our pothole of the day. Well, we found a pleasant surprise. Our pothole of the day has worked, JJ. Pothole of the day in Hazard, there at the Village, right there in front of the Big Blue Smokehouse. All this right here was not just potholes. Them was craters in the parking lot. Had been there for years. And we went the other day, and courtesy of Puck's Tires pothole of the day, they're fixed.
That's awesome. And I think that we should take credit for that. I mean, I think that we played a good part in them taking the time to fix that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. So, JJ, it is 8:30. And I got to get the link over to our guest here real quick. So why don't you tell the people about the story you sent me about? Let me find it here. Make sure I get it.
Yeah, I sent you a couple, so you got to let me get myself prepared as well.
Yeah, let me find the one that you sent me there.
Okay.
We'll save that one. We'll save that one for last. But let's talk about pickleball courts in Prestonsburg. Don't know if you guys got to see, but Prestonsburg's Archer Park has added some new pickleball courts. JJ, let me know, are you behind this craze that's taken over America with pickleball courts?
I'm not really familiar with it too much. I mean, I've seen articles on ESPN where different NBA athletes or different, I think Tom Brady may have been one of the athletes as well on the football side that's invested into pickleball courts or pickleball franchises. I mean, so this is like a miniature version of tennis. Is that what this is, Darryl?
It's what they say. They say basically that out of shape, overweight people can participate in tennis. But I'll be honest with you, I have no quarrels, or I have no want to ever play pickleball and get behind. I think this is the stupidest thing ever. I think what's going to happen is we're spending all these tax dollars and putting these pickleball courts in these communities. And I think within a year's time, that pickleball is going to be non-existent, and we're going to have all these courts here that can be used for basketball courts or, playgrounds or stuff that will actually be used. I don't see this being something that will carry over for years to come.
I think it just depends on the location. I mean, I would imagine there are some places. You don't think so?
No, this trend is not going to last. Now it's lasted longer than I thought it's going to, because it's been going now for about 2-3 years. But I'm not a fan of pickleball. I say quit building these courts, quit wasting tax dollars, and put money where it's actually going to matter and where people want. That right there could be, another playground, or that could be, something that could be an athletic complex. Tear that down, put an athletic complex, and let's go.
I mean, maybe not 5 or 6 pickleball things, maybe 1 or 2. I mean, because every park that I've been to has a tennis court, so a lot of people seem give
you two pickleball courts. You can have 2 pickleball courts a community, and we're done.
Yeah, 5 or 6. I'm like, do that many people really play?
Yeah,
that's where I'm.
No, that many people's playing. Listen, here in Martin County, these kids, Peyton Davis, he's one of the biggest pickleball players around. But these kids play pickleball every single day. Peyton Davis, Lissa Allen. Peyton Davis said the other day, I heard him in an interview say he's trying to get Parker Watts to pick up pickleball. But I just say that this trend's not going to last. So we're going to have all these courts sitting there empty, and it's just going to be like when kids go by coal mines at Co-Temples Day, and they're like, "What's that, mommy? What's that, daddy?" They're going to be the same thing in a couple of years when they go by pickleball courts. What's that? Oh, well, there was this sport called pickleball that enamored America here for a minute, and now it's gone.
I'm trying to figure out. I mean, it's for people that are older and may not be able to go back and forth on a tennis court, because the tennis court is much larger, but they still like to play something that's the equivalent of that. I mean, it may hold up. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. If this morning's startup show is still here in maybe 2 or 3 years, maybe we can come back and have this conversation again.
It is not going to start up. And we're going to go to commercial break, because I just see we have our guest. We got Coach Arkell Bruce in. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break with Huntington Prep head coach Arkell Bruce. Pizza and pasta around. Stop by Conley Brothers Giovanni's in Prestonsburg, Kentucky. Right now, Conley Brothers Giovanni's now has a new drive-thru for your convenience. Great deals, great service. Conley Brothers Giovanni's, proud supporter of all mountain athletes.
In America, what does that mean? It means jobs. It means craftsmanship. And when it comes to Vaughan Bassett furniture, it means value. And Kemper recognizes that. That's why they've dedicated an entire gallery to Vaughan Bassett. Made in America. See the quality. And now, see the price. Come see your favorite Kemper store in Hazard, London, or Somerset.
And we are back here on the Startup Morning Show. JJ Pruitt, Darryl McCoy, and without further ado, we got Coach Arkell Bruce of the Huntington Prep. How you doing, Coach?
I'm great. How you fellas doing?
Doing great. Anytime we get to spend time with Coach Bruce, we're doing great. Coach, we was talking about pickleball there. Have you picked up the pickleball paddles?
No, I'm not that old. I'm joking. Now, everybody says it's fun. It's great. I know here in Huntington Park, it's packed full of teenagers, everyone of all ages. They really enjoy playing it. So I just wish they would stop playing inside when it's nice out.
Well, and that's the thing I don't like is there's a local park here that's got pickleball courts, but they split time with the pickleball courts and the basketball court, and I'm like, that's a disgrace to American athletics. Do not take a basketball court and play pickleball on it. But Huntington Expression Prep, I wanted to bring you on. During the season, it's always so busy, so hectic. We don't get to spend the time that we want to spend with you. But wanted to take, and last year was the first year that Huntington Expression Prep takeover of Huntington Prep had come, or that you guys got to go through that full year with Expressions Church over Huntington Prep now. Just tell the people about some of the great things that the Expressions Church has brought to Huntington Prep and what y'all got going on there.
Well, yeah, man. Now Huntington Prep, now Huntington Expression Prep. It's his own brick and mortar, so we're an actual school now. And they brought a lot of organization, just great people that do things for all the right reason. Very, very, very well organized. And they provide a spiritual aspect that some of these kids and coaches need. That they're a big part of what we do. I value their friendship and I value the partnership.
Yeah. Pastor Kevin does a great job. I could tell that the man has a passion for your athletics program and your basketball team because, they've been many times, after games, he messaged, hey, did you get that dunk? Did you, can you put this out? This kid dropped this many. Can you put this out? So you could tell Pastor Kevin has a passion, being able to work for a guy, have a guy like Pastor Kevin over, it's got to make it easy, right?
Very easy. Great person. One of the things that he played himself, a few of the women in the offices played. They're big fans of basketball. So they want the high academics, of course, but they also want the high level athletics. Of course, we're working on building a 4-court facility. Should be up and running here soon. So once we break ground and we're in that building, I think that we'll produce a lot more excitement in the area.
Yeah, and definitely still that building, getting ready to break ground on it, people can still get in and, help sponsor that building, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
We can name it after if you want it.
Yeah.
And on the right price.
Yeah. So naming rights, make sure if you're a big business that's watching the show today, make sure you reach out to Huntington Prep because I promise you they're bringing the product that you're going to want your name on. It's big things are happening and we'll get to that. We got a couple comments coming in. Stephen Castador says, me and Bruce went to high school together. Great guy, great friend. One of the best ballers I've seen play.
Long time ago. So I got a bad body now. Bad body.
Well, Christy Watts says, great guy, great coach. Parker always enjoys training with him when he can.
Yeah, Parker Watts, heck of a talent. College coaches need to get on his radar.
100%, coach. That kid had 4 50-point games last year, and I tell you, this summer when I've watched him, he's took it to a different level. It's been a long time since I've seen an athlete like him. I know on the prep school level, you see him, quite a bit, but here in mountain basketball, he's been the first guy since Todd Tackett I've seen that's going up every time a shot's missed. He's going up looking for the rebound putback. He's nasty.
Yeah, I've worked with him probably since about 6th or 7th grade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, off and on. So I know him well. Ultimate competitor. I love his game. I expect him to have a big senior year, and I've told him, and I tell all the kids in my area, if they need help with recruiting or anything, just let me know, and I'll reach out to some of the people, because it takes a village.
Well, so we could start crediting Parker's talents to Arkell Bruce, right?
No, that's awesome.
Well, Coach, let's get to the basketball side of things. You've been a man that's put a load of players through to the league. You put them kids in all levels from NAIA to Division I. Give people that don't know you a background of when you got to Huntington Prep and, what caused you to want to get into the coaching profession? And, was it always something that you knew you was going to do, or is it something that just fell into your lap? Or, because, I was read a thing the other day where it said at one time you was one of the youngest coaches in the prep school world.
Yeah, so, after I got done playing in 2002, college ball in West Virginia, went overseas, tried out for some teams. Heart wasn't really on the plan anymore. So started off an AAU organization with Scott Hutchison. Had some of the best players in the tri-state. Drew Spradlin went to Elon from over in Willisburg. A slew of just really good players. Coached Huntington High in 2007 with that whole melee with Patrick and AJ. Then went down to Mountain State Academy with Rob Fulford. We had the pleasure of having some high-level guys then. Denise Glitchley played for us, Noah Cottrell. Then we had so much great success, we were like, well, let's piggyback off Finley Prep. So me and Rob went to Huntington, started Huntington Prep in 2009, and very first year, he was the head coach. Had Gorgie Jang. He always had aspiration of going to college. So we went on to college. I took it over in 2013 with Thomas Bryant and Miles Bridges. Of course, we had Andrew Wiggins and a lot of other guys. And I was also a grad assistant under Donnie Jones at Marshall for a year. So I've been around the block, done a lot of NBA pre-draft camps and worked with a lot of guys. So I've always worked with kids outside of basketball. So and the case management or troubled youth ranks. So working with teenage guys is kind of a calling of mine.
So is that what you do? When do you teach at Expressions Prep during the day, or what do you do during the day, Coach?
Game plan, coaches meetings. I'm a full-time coach.
Okay.
So it's a lot of just planning and organizational type of things.
Well, they and that's one thing I like about what y'all do at Huntington Prep there. Last year, some of the funnest games that we got to cover was the ones whenever you reach out to some outreach programs to come in and play you guys. Those are opportunities that them kids probably dreamed about to get to be on the court with these big time prospects, and you never know how that can help change kids' lives. I definitely give a big nod to you. Being able to take time to make sure that you play programs like that, because that goes a lot further than just basketball.
And sometimes you just don't know who's watching. So when you play other programs who may not have Division I players or highly ranked players, there's college programs at every level. So when you step on that court, you never know who's watching. So I just play hard, have fun.
Coach, I always take JJ's questions, so before I get any further with you, I'm going to let JJ have you for a second.
Sounds good. How you doing?
Coach, I'm doing great, and it's a pleasure to meet you. Coach, for somebody like myself who isn't familiar with the main difference between a prep school and just a regular high school, could you tell me some of the differences that separate the two?
Not a lot of restrictions as far as when we're able to work out with our guys. Like we're just still a regular high school, 9th through 12th grade, regular classes, smaller classrooms, of course. But for the most part, most prep schools, they're able to work out year round, get in the gym whenever they need. And they're not restricted, I guess, by any state association a lot of times, with the recruiting aspect of it, the scheduling games. You play as many games as you want a lot of times. Just being able to get in the gym when you want. Our guys, we have our own strength and conditioning coaches. So we have a lot of, access to the gym, a lot of resources with our program. I know a lot of high schools do as well, but the main thing is the scheduling and just able to get in the gym.
So according to Darryl, I think that he mentioned that West Virginia typically caps you at like 22 games per season. How many games do you typically play?
Around 40.
Around 40. Okay. And let's see. How many? So we cover mostly schools in West Virginia and Kentucky. Do you have a lot of players on your roster that are from those areas, or do they come from other cities?
Yeah, so we try to I try to recruit the tri-state: Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we've had success this year with Cam Mercer from Cincinnati and Cam McDaniels from Louisville. We even got McCoy Carey from the Charleston, West Virginia area. So we have a lot more local guys this year than we had in the past, but we always try to dip in our backyard first and see what we can come up with. So.
Absolutely. And I got one more question. This is somewhat of a fun one. Me and Darryl the other day was talking about how, whenever we was younger, we always went to the park to play basketball. And he was mentioning that his son always plays in the gym and most kids are playing in the gym. Do you see a pattern there? Are kids still going to the park and actually playing pickup basketball outside, or do they do that anymore?
I don't see it. So, I mean, I'll go. Yeah. We have a few nice, gyms or outside courts here in Huntington. It's rare that you see the kids that actually play for their high school teams out there playing. They're mainly in the gym. Everybody has a trainer or wants to get trained instead of just going playing and getting that competition factor. I mean, the competing is at an all-time low, but the skill level is at an all-time high. So it would be nice if kids just went to the park and just played and competed.
Yeah, because I'm like you. Whenever I was younger, like some of the best games that I ever played were in the park. Playing the 24 win by 4, and then you cap it at 30.
Yep.
I mean that's how we always played, and yeah, those were some of the best games that I ever played.
And if you don't have the courage to call next or see who got next, you're not playing.
That's it.
That's exactly right.
And listen, when we grew up, if you lost, you was going to be there a couple hours before you got another chance. So that helped build that competitive nature in kids. I hate it, man. Kids these days, I think that's a big part of the game that's lost. As kids, people don't understand like street ball. Like I myself, earlier I always made my son play street ball and play, go to the local Y or to the local gym, and play because I think in AAU, a lot of kids spend their summers playing AAU, but in street ball, that's where you learn, smarts. That's where you learn, to speak up. That's where, confidence comes from. You got the older guys that has confidence in the young guy to knock down the shot, and it helps build character. And then you get to learn how to play pick and rolls. You get to learn small stuff that really matters and helps you in the game. And I think that's a lost art in basketball.
Yeah, I mean, that's where you first learn to compete. I mean, I know when OJ and Bill, when they would come home, they run all the outdoor courts. They didn't hesitate to go outside and play or wherever there was live pickup. You had next, and they were playing. If they lost, which was rare, they still wouldn't come off the court.
I'm glad you brought OJ up. My brother Mark Maynard, Booby Maynard here, played at Ohio Southern up there in Ironton, and that's where I first met OJ when he was in 7th grade, and we used to every single day we would play at the courts up there. And OJ was there every day. He was at the outside courts playing. And, so that, if you watch the gritty, the toughness of OJ, no surprise when you've seen how much time he spent on the outside courts and playing with older guys.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah. And I was trying to find that graphic, JJ. You don't know this, but, right now, Coach Bruce has, I'm wanting to say it was 7 or 8 active NBA players in the league right now. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So I got the graphic somewhere that we used for his games this year. I was trying to find it so I could give all the names out. But, when you talk about that success, Coach, you talked about Cam Mercer picking him up. That's a big dog out of Cincinnati. He was set to go to Winston Woods, number 1 ranked player in the 2028 recruiting class. Tell some folks a little bit about Cam Mercer.
Cam Mercer is a world-class kid, very popular kid. Standing room only to watch him play as a middle school athlete last year. He's got about 50,000 followers now, so very popular. But his game, it's amazing. Does everything extremely well. Point guard, really, really long arms, about 6'9", 6'10" wingspan, 6'5". Defends extremely well, rebounds at a high level. He's definitely a talented kid and going to be one of the ones that you're going to hear about moving forward.
Yeah, when now you're looking at Cam, is Cam is he the type of talent that's going to come in and play from day one?
Definitely. He has kind of OJ Mayo effect. Like when OJ was in ninth grade, he can play anywhere in the country at any level. And Cam is very similar to that, where he's going to come in and he's ready to go right now. Not just because he's ranked high, but because he's good enough.
Well, the coach, you're probably going to kill me for this, but definitely got to talk about the elephant in the room. After we booked the interview yesterday, Darren Peterson announces going to Prolific Prep. Behind that decision, and I know you was a big backer, big supporter, and probably still are of DP. But just talk about your time with Darren Peterson and what led him to Prolific Prep.
Oh yeah, he's hard worker, extremely hard worker, very talented young man. Very cool kid. People gravitated towards him. Magnetic personality. He's going to do great things at Prolific and going forward. Unfortunately, that's the route they decided to take, and God bless him. We wish him nothing but the best. But his time here, we cherished it. We got him better. His body is phenomenal. All the improvements that you saw, that all the strides that he's made, was due to the fact that he came through here and was able to work whenever he needed to, whether it was one-on-one at 10 o'clock at night, team practices, or before school. I mean, he was a workhorse, and me and my assistant coaches were there to help him work. We just, NIL is a real thing.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing about it. I hate it because I do. A lot of bridges was made. Y'all done a lot together during your short time there. Including he's first player to ever sign a huge deal with Adidas. Under your watch. So what you do for athletes. I mean, Cam Mercer. I can't wait to see what you do for that young man because Darren Peterson is a great example of what Huntington Prep can do for athletes and where you can get them. He definitely was putting in the work. You talked about him, in the gym. One thing I loved about him is he was one of the best spoken players that you had last year. I mean, when you spoke to him, you could just tell like he was very mature for his age, understood the game, and I hate it that he's going out west, but here's the thing. At the end of the day, he made his top 8, and I was telling JJ, coach, that I said him going to Prolific Prep. I said, put your money on USC.
Hello.
But I wanted him to. At the end of the day, I wanted him at Kentucky, but I don't know. Like you said, NIL is a real thing, and we'll see where that lands. But moving on to the rest of your roster, one of the pickups that you got last year that I really liked, Coach, was the young man up from up from West Virginia there that you picked up.
Braden Hall.
Thank you, white boy.
Dylan Tingler or Braden Hall?
Yeah, Tingler. That young man, is he still with the program?
No, he's at Eastern Michigan. He's a freshman this year.
Okay, so he went on to play college ball. Who were some of the ones you got returning?
Braden Hawthorne returns from Beckley, West Virginia. It's going to be a big year for him.
Yep.
He's actually on Kentucky's radar. They would love to redshirt him just because he's a 6'8", 6'9", 7'2" wingspan. Does everything well. Can really shoot the ball. Highly skilled. And then of course we had Micah Tucker, but the OTE NIL. OTE came with.
Did Micah go to OTE?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I love that kid's game.
Oh man, he was a dog. I mean, he is a dog. I mean,
Yeah.
great summer, phenomenal family, ultimate competitor. He's going to have great success wherever he goes, just because he plays so hard.
Well, when you look at the kids around here, like, at Huntington Prep, I was telling JJ the other day, I said, there might be 1% of kids, around here that can play at Huntington Prep, but there is that 1%. You take a kid like Xander Carter, he would be a kid that, could definitely play there from Ashland. But, how hard is it, do you find that kids are eager to jump at that chance to play prep school ball over high school ball, or how hard is it for you to recruit kids? I know being Huntington Prep, it's pretty easy especially with your resume, but talk about some of the challenges on the recruiting scene.
Well, it's a lot of kids, if they're happy, and if they're in great situations, a lot of times they'll stay home at their high school. I mean, a lot of times it's not necessary. I mean, people think that there's some secret potion that when you go to prep school that you're automatically going to get highly recruited. You're going to get all these accolades and all this stuff thrown at you. At the end of the day, the work has to continue, and you may not be loved by everybody, but as long as that one school likes you, then that's where you better go. But I mean, there's no secret potion to basketball. You got to work hard, live in the gym, and eat right, do the right thing. Those are things that we can provide. But with prep schools and high school, there's plenty of high schools that are just as good as prep schools. We've been beat by high schools every year. I mean, there's talented guys all over the place. I would love to have a lot more guys in this area play for me, but unfortunately, it doesn't happen. Only because I don't think that it would be a right fit sometimes. Like, why come here and play a quarter or two when you can stay home and play the whole game? And as long as you have the right coach that's willing to work for you, then I don't see a problem going with prep school outside of just the daily competition that you're going to get and the schedule. So, but as long as you're taking care of at home, I don't stay home. I mean, it's not hard for me to get out and recruit, especially with us being able to recruit from all over the world. That's one of the things that we did this year is we went overseas. This year we got a couple 7-footers. We got a couple 6'8", 6'9" guys. So we're really long and athletic this year, but we also have really, really good guard play with Russell Young out of Charlotte, West Virginia, and Illinois just offered. Then, of course, Cam. And then we're going to add to that here shortly, hopefully this week. We should have another top 20 recruit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what class?
2027.
Okay. I tell you what, and I do know there's a kid here in the mountains that you've been looking at that's in that 2027. We won't bring up any names yet, but I really the one thing you mentioned going overseas, getting a couple kids. Now that you got our guy, Coach Sean Ward there, you should he should probably be able to speak enough languages to help you out there.
Yeah. Sean needs to master the English language first.
Well, you got to get him away from the NASCAR track before he can actually learn English language.
He's a great asset, a hard worker. He's going to be great for us. He wants to be in the gym 24/7, and whatever he needs done, he's going to do it.
And you got one of our other guys on staff now too, Isaiah Smith.
Yeah, Isaiah's with the post grad over there with Stacy. Isaiah's definitely a hard worker. He's going to be a great asset. He's a role model for these young men. He's a young man himself, but he played ball at a good level. I believe that he should have went and played in college, but this is his calling and this is what he wants to do, and he's going to be good at it.
I love it, man. I love that, that you're giving him that opportunity. That's something that, that'll go a long ways, because I'm sure there's going to be other cases, and have been cases in the past where kids has wanted to go to coaching route, and for you to provide that for Isaiah is big, coach. So big shout out there. Just moving forward, last year, I always, if I had one thing that I really hope, and I hope that y'all get that gym, because I want a place for y'all to be able to call home, and
Right.
that would be really big for the program. Last year, probably the best atmosphere I'd been in a long time is whenever y'all played Link Academy, and you had Darren Peterson and Jasper Johnson going at it. How fun was that game? Well, it probably wasn't fun because of the outcome, but do you see atmospheres like that quite often on the prep school circuit, or was that a unique situation?
Well, it was a smaller regular high school gym, but yeah, we play in environments like that often when we go to high school gyms and play high school teams, and some of the major, like this year at the Bow Bash and the John Wall Classic, those events sell out, and it's those places are rocking. And that environment last year with Jasper going to his home gym, it was like playing against Steph Curry. That's who didn't miss. So
No.
Shoot from half court. But no, it was a great atmosphere, and that's the beauty of high school basketball right there. You get those rivalries, you get the students and the communities coming out, and the local guys, and so it's always fun. And I mean those atmospheres for prep schools, they're not as, I guess, popular, but most tournaments that we play in, it's a pretty good crowd. Flying to the hoop is one as well. It's great crowds.
Well, that's that's one thing. I was looking at your schedule, and you've really beefed up your schedule this year. As that you're coming back. A lot of people don't know that COVID kind of took y'all away for a minute, and now that Expressions Church has got back involved, it seems like this year that you beefed that schedule up a ton. Talk about that. About the opponents that you got this year and some of the games you're looking forward to.
Yeah, so we actually play Prolific. Of course, we're looking forward to that one.
Is it a home game?
That's an event. They're just seeing what event it's going to be in, because we're playing in the grind session this year. So we'll play in a few events in Kentucky. Hopefully, it's in Kentucky. But yeah, we're there. Then we play the first two games. I think we played Taylor Kenny.
Okay.
And I think it's called Aim Higher or something. Some event up near the Newport area. Taylor is extremely talented, a young man out of the northern Kentucky area. After that, we go to Daytona, Florida, play McCoy Brown and DME Academy.
Yeah.
Then we're in the Hoops Giving in Atlanta. We'll play some of the top teams from probably the West Coast, and then always Hoop Hall Classic, where the Hall of Fame is. We'll play Native Mint. So we play a who's who of high school basketball this year. John Wall Classic, the Bow Bash. So we're in a lot of.
Now, will you be playing your home games at Mountain Health Arena?
Sorry, I got a call. Did you hear me?
Yeah. We'll let you go here in just a sec, Coach. We've kept you a little longer than we anticipated, but
Hello.
Anytime I get a chance to talk to you, I like to spend some time with you, because it's hard to track you down. Sometimes you're a busy man. Talking about Mountain Health Arena, is that where y'all be playing your home games again? I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me, Coach? Oh.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Good. Can you hear us, Coach?
I'm not getting any audio.
Yeah. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Okay. I don't think he can hear us. Let's try this. Now, can you hear me? Can't hear me. All right, guys. We're going to let Coach Bruce, I'm going to try to log him off there real quick, JJ, and see if we can bring him back. See if that helps. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? No. As we're getting ready to trying to see JJ there. There he is.
All right.
All right, Coach. I appreciate you logging back in there, Coach. We'll keep you for about 2 more minutes here, and then we'll let you go. We know you got busy phone calls, and you're on the recruiting scene right now, so we don't want to keep you from your day job right now. So, Coach, we want to ask you, Mountain Health Arena, is that where Huntington Prep's going to be playing this year?
Yeah, so we're working on that right now. Either there or we're just going to play at one of the local schools here in the area. So just be on the lookout. Check our social media. We'll get all that information out shortly, and we'll have a coaches meeting, and we'll meet with Pastor Kevin and the gang over at Expression and figure it out.
Y'all do an amazing job with your social media account. Want to tell everybody, make sure you give them a follow on Instagram, Twitter, because they'll keep you updated with all the players they're getting. And you kind of got me excited right now. See who that 2027 kid is.
He's going to be good.
Well, I'm very excited for that, Coach. I'm hoping to be able to come up there soon and sit down with you there here in about a month as we gear up for basketball season. Once you can get you guys on campus and get to see what kind of roster that you got. But I just want to tell everybody what you got going on there in Huntington. Everybody grows up here knowing Huntington Prep. That's one thing in basketball. People always talk about Huntington Prep. Well, you can have your chance to go watch Huntington Prep. Huntington Prep is as good now as it's ever been, especially with these big-time talents, these big-time prospects coming in. As a coach, I know it would mean a lot for them kids to see the community come out and pack them gymnasiums out, wouldn't it?
Oh, definitely. The local support is something that we would love to have, even more so. We're expanding. We added more teams. We have a middle school team. We have a regular regional high school team that plays a phenomenal schedule. That's coached by some phenomenal guys, and we're still looking to expand that. Our post grad team is extremely talented. Coach Stacy done a great job going out and recruiting some of the best players in the country that are post grad guys. If you're a local guy and you graduate high school and you still have aspirations to play in college and it just didn't work out and you need another year, you can hit Huntington Prep or Coach Stacy at Huntington Expression Prep. I mean, we got our bases covered for any guys that want to come out and play at a different level.
Well, Coach, definitely, guys, make sure if you're a business owner, reach out to Coach Bruce or Pastor Kevin as they're building their new arena. I promise you won't regret. Whoever gets their naming rights on that arena is going to get a lot of pub because there's big things happening at Huntington Prep. Coach, I want to appreciate you for taking the time today. We got a million other questions we'd want to ask you, but we're running short on time. So if you can, we'll take here in about 2 weeks or so. We'll reach back out and see if we can bring you back on for another 30 minutes.
Definitely. Sounds good. I appreciate you guys having me. You guys enjoy your day.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Arkell Bruce, guys, Huntington Prep. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Then we'll be right back with Prestonsburg head coach Wes Hager. We'll be right back here on the Startup Morning Show.
Walters Kia. By now, you know Kia is a great vehicle, and you know they come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So why should you buy from Bruce Walters Kia? At Bruce Walters Kia, we're going to change your oil for free for life. And what you do with that money you save is up to you. Come check out the 2022 Kia Carnival and the 2021 Kia Sorento. Only at Bruce Walters Kia in Pikeville. Or shop us online at brucewalterskia.com.
Pass. bring them to Hall and Jones Funeral Home in Virgie, Kentucky. We let you grieve in peace instead of worrying about a heavy financial burden of burying a loved one. Here at Hall and Jones, we have multiple chapels that can accommodate any size family. We look forward to helping you and your family here at Hall and Jones.
High School. Continue to follow D&D Sports, best coverage in the mountains.
Back here on the Startup Morning Show, JJ Pruitt, Darryl McCoy, and without further ado, Prestonsburg first-year head coach Wes Hager. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How are you all?
Doing fabulous, Coach. It's a beautiful morning here in the mountains, and listen, anytime we can catch up with you, it's a great day.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
JJ, I'm not going to steal any of your questions, so I'll let you start this out.
Coach, first of all, it's a pleasure to meet you. You don't look very old. Are you? Are you a young coach? Or
I'm 26. Yeah.
Oh wow. And for somebody who I'm from this area, but I haven't really kept up with local sports in years. So could you tell me, being from Prestonsburg, how was the rivalry with them and Belfry and some of these other schools today? Like, what are the rivalries like? Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah. Well, early 90s to early 2000s and even beyond, that rivalry, it was them and Belfry every single year competing for regional championships. They had some pretty tough games, and a lot of those guys that played in those games, those legacy games, I have on my staff. So I've been able to, snatch those guys and get them back in the red and black. So but yeah, they had some really good games. There's been some phenomenal talent come through both Prestonsburg and Belfry. And it used to be a boxing match, for 4 quarters. So yeah, they had some really good games.
Absolutely. So you're, like you said, you're only 26 years old. When did you first start dabbling into the coaching world, and who are some of the figures that you may have modeled your game after, or maybe tried to take some stuff from them to implement into your coaching strategies?
Yeah. So in 1994, my dad coached got his football coaching career started at Sheldon Clark under Coach Jim Matney. So there's 2 right off the bat. And I was born in 98. So from the time I could walk, I was following him on the sideline and, growing up in the locker rooms and around all the big guys. But I was fortunate enough to play, for him and Coach John Darrow. So I'd say I model, I've taken aspects from all the coaches. Coach Jim Matney, I'm really big into my coaching tree. I do a lot of research as far as that goes. We run a lot of the same schemes, but we do some other stuff too at Prestonsburg. We'll do some other stuff this year, but I take aspects from Coach Jim Matney, my dad, of course. He's been such a great influence on me. A lot of the most influential people in my life were the coaches in my life. So that's why, I'm very passionate about what I do, and I'm very passionate about these kids and, getting them to where I believe that, to reach their full potential. So I'd say Coach Jim Matney, my dad, Coach John, and I joke like I'd like to have a round table sit down with all the H's, like all the H's. So Haddix, Holcomb, Hilton, Haywood. Because if you think about it, there's a lot of legendary coaches that all have the last name H, and so I don't know. And I was just sitting there thinking about it, and I was like, man, they all have the last name H. That's kind of odd, but.
So go ahead, Darryl. I'm sorry.
That's true, Coach. When you sit there and look, Haywood, for people that don't know, Coach Hager's dad grew up playing for Coach Haywood, and he was a star standout athlete on the hardwood and the gridiron. Sean Hager was at Belfry, went on to play for or coach under Jim Matney, which you got to be if you could build a coach, it's got to be Wes Hager, because I mean, your dad's learned from the best. You've learned from your dad. How nice is it to have your dad there, to go to whenever it comes to, I'm game planning for this team. You got anything that, may help me against this team? It's got to be handy to have your dad there a phone call away.
Absolutely. A lot of the preparation I do, if we're not playing each other, a lot of the preparation I do is with him. Like if he sees, like sometimes I'll see stuff, he's learning stuff from me now. That's the big thing, is like I've learned stuff from him. And now I do my research. Even when, college football comes on Saturdays, I've got my notepad sitting out, seeing if I can, dissect anybody's plays and see if we can implement it and install it in high school. And he's taking some stuff from me. But if we're not playing each other, absolutely, I'll help him out. If I see something like, if this team's only running this play on this hash, on this down, then I'll have it broke down and, kind of scout it out for him. And same way with him, if he sees, because we both see the game now through a different lens, where he's a little bit older and I'm a little bit younger. But absolutely, if we're not playing each other, we'll help each other out. It's like we're all on the same team. But now when we play each other, it's, it's game on. He has to know when I go down to the house, because we still live right beside each other. I have to call him and let him know, hey, I'm coming down. You got to hide your stuff. So,
well, it was a big deal last year when you was an assistant at Martin County and you two met on the gridiron. I mean, this year, now that you both are in Floyd County, Prestonsburg, Floyd Central, how much are you two looking forward to that game?
Oh, it gets real now, because, last year we still kind of titled it the Hager Bowl, but I was the offensive coordinator and he was the head coach. But now, like, we're both head coaches. And so this has just been like a surreal experience. Like, it almost feels too good to be true, because I played for him, I coached with him, and now I get to coach against him, like on the biggest stage. We're both head coaches. So it's going to be like a very mix of emotions, but, I think both of our teams are really talented. So it's going to be a fireworks show for sure.
Well, you talked about your two teams very talented. Let's talk about your team. As you know, I've spent the last 3 years in Prestonsburg, so I become a black cat at heart. It's no matter what, I got that red running through me. It ain't taking over Belfry, but it's a close second. But when you look at what's returning, first of all, I was a big fan of Brandon Brewer. I thought the way that where he got the program and where he took it, I thought, especially in the weight training area, I thought he left it in good standing. Coming in, it's not like you're starting over from just a dead scratch program. I mean, talk about the program and where it's at as you take over it.
Well, I think so far, the practices are probably a little bit different. I've got 44 kids out. I think that's the most Prestonsburg's had in, quite some time. I know that's more than I had in high school. So we got some bodies, and we got, a decent amount of football players that can get in there and, tear it up for us. Our skilled players are phenomenal. Like you said, we return a lot of our skilled players from last year. Our line's young. We don't have a senior on the line. And right now I've been starting 2 freshmen on the line and 2 sophomores and 1 junior. So
would you say the line is the weakness right now?
I wouldn't say weakness, because that would discredit them. But I would say that's for sure the question mark. I think their ceiling is unbelievable. I think we went back and watched the tape from our scrimmage game, and just even on the plays that you posted on your network, we had guys miss blocks and guys not give effort. And, I tell them whenever we watch film to leave their feelings in the locker room, because you're going to get your feelings hurt. But, that's why I tell them, if every guy gives an effort, we will score or we'll have a big play. And so even on the plays that we didn't give an effort, we still scored. So that's the big thing. Is getting our guys to give effort, and if everybody gives effort, then then it don't matter how big our line is, because I look around at a lot of teams, and our line is comparable to a lot of the teams as far as height and weight goes. It's just all about who wants it more and who gives the most effort. And right now we're kind of halfway there. I think we didn't really take a step back in the scrimmage, but we still have a lot to work on to get comfortable for this season for sure.
Well, and for your line as a coach, sometimes them linemen, a lot of it's just maturity, because a lot of them young guys, they're probably looking back there and like, you have a star-studded backfield right now. Alex Harris, 4.5 guy. Dalton Elliott, probably fastest guy in Eastern Kentucky, 4.4 speed. So, getting them to follow through on them blocks when sometimes they think they may not have to because of who they got behind them. That's just something that you got to keep beating in them, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's the thing is like, and both of those kids that you mentioned are like phenomenal, have great minds, and they're very coachable. Like, for example, both of them miss blocks because, in some of the schemes that I run, I expect my backs to block for each other. Like if you want to score a touchdown, then you better block for your buddy because he wants to score a touchdown too. And so, both of those guys, like Dalton missed a block, Alex missed a block. First thing they came back, I didn't even have to yell at them. First thing they came back, guys, that's on me. That's my fault. That's my fault. Yeah. And so those are the kind of guys that, and both of those guys are seniors. So those young underclassmen linemen are seeing that like, man, like they're taking accountability. So I need to take accountability. And we ended up finishing the scrimmage really good. We were a lot better than what I anticipated. And I was really proud of my guys. And then when I turn on the tape, watching some of our effort on a few plays, we can do a little bit better, but that's just stuff. It's early. So we'll get that fixed. So.
Yeah, Coach, whenever you sit there and look, one of the kids on the team that, I really think, sky's the limit for, but, it's just seeing that maturity. It's like, you'll see him a couple of times and this kid looks like he's, a top 10 QB in the mountains. And then, it's like every now and then it's like the experience factor bites him in the rear and, he'll throw a ball that maybe he shouldn't. Holbrook, I really think this kid is going to be, a superstar by the time he graduates. But, right now, as coaching that young quarterback, what's some of the stuff that, that you're trying to fix in him to make sure he reaches where he needs to be?
Well, I'm probably doing him. He's got the mind to do anything I tell him to do. With the offense that I want to do, we go under center some, we go in shotgun a lot, and we go in under center a lot. So he's got to be able to do, multiple stuff. But don't think we're overwhelming him. Like we've coached that from day one. We've, split reps with under center and shotgun, and because I don't know what this team's identity is going to be yet because we've been able to have success doing both. Like this summer in 7-on-7, we tore it up, and his reads were pretty simple. I was telling him where his reads were. And then in under center, it's a very simple read whenever we do like our bootleg plays and stuff. And in our belly scheme, he reads it perfect. His reads in the scrimmage game were really good. He messed up on a few, but he came back to the huddle and said, Coach, that's my fault. Again, if our kids hold each other accountable and hold themselves accountable, then we'll be in good shape. But, yeah, he's got a tremendous upside. He's a great player. He's going to be a great player for us. He did, at the end of the day, he is a kid. He's going to make mistakes. All high school kids are going to make mistakes, but I tell my kids, it's what you do after you mess up that defines you as a player and as a man. So, and our kids, hold each other accountable. And, whenever he messes up, he's the first one back saying, Coach, that's on me. So, but yeah, he's got tremendous upside. He's going to be a player for us.
And I tell you what, the kid that I think is going to be one of the leaders in tacklers this year is Logan Stumbo. Talk about him real quick.
Oh, he's a phenomenal player. Last year, he played line for him. This year, he's trimmed down a lot. He's gotten a lot faster. Defensively in the scrimmage, he's a leader out there. He's our quarterback on defense. He's a tremendous player. And then I got him playing H-back some, and we go back and watch the tape, and I bragged on him a few times yesterday, just leading for our guys. Like he was blocking his guy out of frame of the camera and just pancaking guys from the backfield. And I'm sitting there like, man, like, you want to play right guard again?
You
But
need 10 more like that, right?
yeah. But he's a phenomenal player. He'll be our leading tackler this year. He's our quarterback on defense, and he's a good guy in the locker room. And again, there's a trend with all these kids. He's another one that takes accountability when he messes up. It's like, he's always wanting to get better. Even when he makes a good play, he always wants to get better. Everything's got to be perfect. And those are the kind of kids you just love to coach.
Well, Coach, we got a ton of comments coming in here. Before we get to them here, it's got to be nice coming in your first year, being able to play or coach under an administration like Brandon Kidd and Ricky Thacker, who provide their coaches with whatever they need to make sure they succeed. Them two guys care about them kids at Prestonsburg just about more than any administration I can think of. I mean, because they're really embedded in that community. Jimmy Johnson's talking about that new turf that they, helped make sure got laid out there. Talk about the turf in the field. How excited are you for that first Friday night?
I've had probably a record. I probably have the best honeymoon period that a coach could ever have in the history of head coaching. New uniforms, new turf field. Our golf scramble made a bunch of money. So I've just got so much support from the administration. Coach Kidd and Mr. Thacker. It's just been they've helped me so much. Because there's a lot of paperwork I got to do. The head coaching side of it, I knew all the schemes, but the managerial side's been a little bit tough as far as logging everything. And but Coach Kidd and Mr. Thacker's helped me out tremendously. And it's been easy. It should be hard, but it's been easy because they've been such a big help with that. And the turf field, unbelievable playing surface. So, and it looks nice. And we're moving back to the home sideline, so the fans are pretty excited about that. So,
oh wow, that's going to be awesome! I can't wait to see that. And the thing is, it's almost like Prestonsburg has all this history, and they're such a historic football program. That's what they're known for. But you're coming in, fresh start, new coach. You're getting everything starting over right here. So, if you have the same kind of success and build the same kind of legacy that your dad has in the coaching ranks, you could be right there with Coach John DeRosa as, one of the best to ever leave Prestonsburg because, just knowing you, I mean, you're a loyal guy. So I expect that, you're there for the long haul. You expect to see this thing through, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's what I tell my kids every day, that, I love them, and that this is a job that if you get right, you can retire from. And that's what I tell my coaches. And I've told everyone that if I get this right, then this is a place where I can hang my hat and, call it home, even after I'm done. This is a place where, I can see myself retiring from if I get it right. So.
Well, hopefully you're in the next line of Prestonsburg coaches with Haywood and DeRosa coming out of that Prestonsburg area.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping.
You'll get it done, Coach. I'm stoked, man. I really am, man. At Prestonsburg, it's always, it's home. It's always home to my son and my family. That's where we build our family. So, to be able to see that kind of energy on a Friday night again, I am stoked for it. Talk about game one. Who you got coming in?
Leslie. We go to Leslie County. So we got Shelby Valley this Saturday in a scrimmage at Shelby Valley. But next Friday, the 23rd, we go to Leslie County, and that's a tough place to play. Especially they got one of Perry Central's best players, and he's eligible, Kilburn.
Yeah.
So that'll be a tough place to play. But our kids are looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good measuring stick for sure. Especially because they come into our district next year in the next cycle. So
I could tell you one thing. You better make sure your DBs are on their toes because Landry Collette, Noah Kilburn, and then they got the other kid. I can't remember his name, but they got two wideouts that's really good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's no surprise, that is the Fighting Tim Couches,
they're one of the premier air raid offenses of East Kentucky. So
Shelby Valley Friday, is that going to be like last week? Is it going to be a round robin, or is it just going to be a straight up scrimmage?
I think usually the second one's more game-like. The first one's usually set up more like practice. You do 10 and 10.
Yeah.
This one's more like I think it's 3/4 of varsity, 1/4 of JV is usually what they do, but they set it up like a game. I'm not sure if special teams will be live or not. Usually they're not. You just get the ball at the 30 or whatever, and then it's like a 30-yard punt or just something like that. But I think it's going to be 3/4 of varsity, 1/4 of JV. So it's going to be set up like a real game.
Stephen Cassador says Wes will do a great job coaching. Remember watching film at their house, and so we could sit there for a long time. Said Wes always had his notepad out, said high IQ football mindset. Jimmy Johnson says, congrats, coach, on the brand new turf. He also says, got to get back, got to block until the whistle.
That's right.
Said, build it and they will come, coach. Said, no need to quote the movie. Said, but what you're doing is going to get Prestonsburg energy back in the football program. And then we also see Jimmy Johnson says, if you start off with your coaching career with a road win at Leslie County, it would be a great start.
Yep, that's the goal. That's the goal.
Now, who was your first home game?
Paintsville. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you got the big boy coming in.
Yeah.
Well, that Paintsville game, we talked to Dalton Elliott earlier. We talked to Paintsville's A.J. Johnson. We've had them both on the show in the last 2 weeks, and both of them said they had that game circled. So that's going to be a game that you might want to go ahead and buy your ticket for.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's so like there's a website you can get on, and that's how I've done a lot of my like history. Like it's called 4 Seasons Football, and you can go all the way back and see just about every team in Kentucky's record from 1925. Like Prestonsburg got their start in 1925. Well, Paintsville was one of the team. They played 3 games in 1925, and Paintsville was one of them. So this has been going on. So next year would be like 100 years of that. It's a rivalry. So that's going to be a pretty good game. I'm glad we got Paintsville, and we got Paintsville back in the next cycle also. So it'd be nice to get that rivalry up and going again, because there used to be some pretty good games with Paintsville too. So
well, let's hope that your Prestonsburg's 100-year reunion ends like Paintsville's did with a state title.
Yeah, that would be insane. That would be absolutely insane if that happened.
JJ, I'm gonna let you close things out with him here.
Coach, once again, it's a pleasure to meet you. So you've been around a lot of head coaches. Have you been around some state championship teams as well, or is that something that you're looking to, do for everybody else? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So me and my dad always had this thing where we would go to the state championships every year, because back when it was in Bowling Green, there used to be like a coach's box, and that's where we started going in 2009. We got to see Belfry beat Wayne County on a field goal in like 5-degree weather. I think it was 3-0 or something. I'm pretty sure.
I remember that year.
Final score. But yeah, that's one vivid memory I have. But yeah, we go to the state championships every year. My first cousin's Riley Priest. We went and watched. That state championship game was the best state championship game I've ever watched. Bull County versus Johnson Central. Both of them are 14-0. There was some trash talk going into that game, and then I hear the Johnson Central fans count to 100 after the game because Bull County said they couldn't count to 100. So that was probably the best game I've ever been to. But yeah, I've been around. We go to the state championships every year. Again, like I never just watch a football game. Like I'm always trying to take something from the game and see if I can implement it in, to my style or my scheme. So, but I've seen there's been a few times where I've just taken stuff like how teams warm up, or, what time do they come out on the field? Like if there's like any science in that, or, because they made it to the state championship. So something they're doing's got to be working, right?
Absolutely.
Taking stuff from that, like if there's any science behind it at all, then I'll implement it to my guys, because I'd be, insane not to. So, but
absolutely. Every little detail matters. And when's the last time Prestonsburg won a state championship?
They've never won one.
Oh, you guys have never won one, so you're gonna break that. You're gonna break that cycle.
That's the goal. That's the end goal there. That'd be like a cowboy riding off into the sunset right there.
I think you're gonna get it.
Back to Prestonsburg. They've been to state twice, 1993 and 2001. but they haven't won one.
Well, I think you're going to be the one that breaks the cycle. Like you said, you're 26 years old, I believe. That's what you.
Yep.
So you're off to a very young start. So you've got plenty of time to get it done, and I think you're going to make everybody in Prestonsburg really proud.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And, Coach, real quick, give a shout out to some of your coaching staff and some of the guys that you've brought on with you.
All right. Okay. Let me think about it. I don't want to forget anybody. So my defensive coordinator, John Mark Stevens, he's a Prestonsburg graduate. My tight ends coach and one of my linebackers coach, Paul Stanley, he's a Prestonsburg graduate. Coach Matt Sloan was the running back on the 2001 state team. He's my linebackers and running backs coach. He's a Prestonsburg graduate. Coach Harris, he played for Chuk, who was one of the ones that started running the belly. He's a Prestonsburg graduate. Coach Garner, offensive defensive line coach. He played Division I football. He's a Prestonsburg graduate. Coach Dixon, offensive defensive line, Prestonsburg graduate. Clay Jamerson, my special teams guy, Prestonsburg graduate. So everybody I got, on the staff has graduated from Prestonsburg. So we all have the same goal. We all have the same vision, and that's to see Prestonsburg back to where it used to be. So.
Well, any chance we can get with all them connections there? Any chance we can get Sunday's best at halftime?
Possibly. Hey, Clay can sing pretty good too. Nobody gives him credit, but he can sing pretty good too. He's got those Jamerson vocals for sure. But Nick at halftime would be like a concert for a football game.
That would be awesome to see them one time. Come and sing there during halftime. That you talking about? That would be a nice opening to the new turf for the home game.
Oh yeah. We'll have to see what we can do about that.
Yeah, the coach, to say the least. Listen, whenever I told the coaches, and I've told everybody that in the last couple of years that's had a coaching search, I've told them, I said, Wes Hager, I said, that's the guy you got to call. I said, sky's the limit for him. I'm excited to see what you do. I know, I call your dad I'm proud to call him a friend, and I got all the respect in the world for him. And, I have no doubt that you're going to do same thing he's done, and probably even top what he's done in the coaching ranks, because your passion definitely shines through. And to see you there leading our beloved Black Cats, I couldn't be more happy and more content. I think we got the right guy in charge, and Coach, I look forward to working with you this season, and anything at all that you guys need, we're here for you.
All righty, thank you very much. Thank y'all for the kind words. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Coach. And I'm gonna give you something real quick to go out on, see if this gets you pumped up for football season.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Have made believers out of a lot of people for a lot of years. Now, my question to you guys is, what are we going to do this year? Are we going to carry it on? Are we going to carry on what we believe in? We believe in the mountain way of life. We believe in being up these hollows and being hillbillies and getting in these trucks and going hunting and fishing. This is who we are. And the rest of the nation makes fun of us. But it's a funny thing to me that every time anybody retires in a city, you know where they want to come live? They want to come live in the country. They want to get them a house up a hollow somewhere and live our life. And I'm glad to have them. We are who we are. We're boys from the mountains, from the hollows, from the small towns. Don't you let anybody come in here, especially from a big city, be able to walk out of here thinking that they're better people than you are.
Cheers, up, man. I'm ready to run through a brick wall.
There you go, Coach. Good luck. Get it done this season, and we'll see you Friday night at Shelby Valley.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
All right, thanks, Coach. Guys, we'll be right back after a quick commercial break here on the Startup Morning Show. Award-winning tire shop that focuses on customer service that's family-owned and family-operated. Stop by and see our friends Jeremy and Chasta at Punk's Tires. If you have a hectic work schedule and you're looking for a non-stressful, convenient way to buy tires, take advantage of Punk's Tires Appointment Saturdays. If they don't have the tire you're looking for, they guarantee it to have it the next day. Punk's Tires can take care of all your needs in tires, wheels, wheel alignments, brakes, rotors, minor mechanic work, and more. They'll treat you like family from the second you walk through the door. Come see us in Virgie, Kentucky, or give us a call at 606-639-TIRE. That's 606-639-TIRE. Back here on the Startup Morning Show, JJ Pruitt, Darryl McCoy, JJ, two outstanding guests, Arkell Bruce, Wes Hager. Been a great show so far.
Absolutely, and that speech gets me every time. One of the things that stands out the most is he's like, every time a big city person retires, where's the first place that they want to come?
That's it.
Yeah, and it's true.
The hollers and the hills.
Absolutely, yeah.
They, I tell you, I was very lucky to, when we first started this, Coach Matney, he really helped me here. And, me, David, Thomas, our partnership with Coach Matney, he was awesome in the early years of D&D. And then when he passed away, he was my landlord in Paintsville. And, he was one of the most genuine guys that you'll ever meet. And, he's a guy that had passion for the mountains, loved the mountains. And he left no doubt. Like, you knew where he stood when it come to the mountains. One of the best human beings I ever met. And I consider myself blessed to get to work with him, get to know him, and get to call him a friend. Now, as we're sitting there, and it's even prouder that he's a Belfry boy.
Oh, he's a Belfry boy as well?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I like him even more.
Yeah, he's from Pond Creek. Jimmy Johnson says, got to take down Beechwood, Mayfield, LCA, and Owensboro Catholic. Said it can be done, but it'll take you a couple of years to get there, Coach. Jimmy Johnson says, should make a movie about his career and life. Coach Jim Matney, a good person and great man. I agree with you. That would be a best-selling movie. A lot of people don't know. See, he was just as big, if not a bigger coach in the wrestling world. He's known throughout the wrestling as one of the best wrestling coaches in the business. And I was talking to some legendary coaches over in West Virginia, and they was telling me when they first started wrestling programs, Coach Matney would allow them to use Sheldon Clark's mats to wrestle on. So this coach and his son, Coach McCoy and his son, they would take and rent a U-Haul and drive all the way over to Sheldon Clark, tug them big mats in the back of that U-Haul, and take them to Logan, Chapmanville area, and they'd be wrestling on Sheldon Clark mats. And Jim Matney really helped get the West Virginia wrestling part up and going. So, a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, that was really awesome. And did he win any state titles or anything? Like, I don't really know much about his background. Like,
yeah, he won a state title.
Which school did he win it with?
Johnson Central.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He coached at Sheldon Clark, Johnson Central, legendary coach, outstanding. Like I said, I could talk about his coaching all day long, but that don't top the kind of human being he was.
No, and you could tell by that speech that he was a terrific man.
He was. Janice Roden says, great interview. Thanks, guys. This guy will do an awesome job. It's going to be interesting to follow him. Bradley Dameron says, didn't he win a wrestling state title at Sheldon Clark? He did. Jimmy Johnson says he would always volunteer his time to help kids and all athletes and other schools. yes, when it come down to Little League Baseball, you know, wherever his son Dalton was, you seen him, and he was there coaching, helping, whatever he needed to do, whether it's frying hot dogs in a concession stand or coaching the team. And that was in baseball. He would do whatever he needed to do to help young kids succeed. And you know, I mean, he's one of our treasures that, you know, I really wish if we had a do-over that we could keep him for more years, because I mean, we really miss that man here in the mountains. So as we're moving forward, JJ, we got a lot of topics to talk about and not a lot of time to do it. So let's get started, JJ.
Yes, sir. What do you want to go with first?
Let me bring them up here as we get started. Last night, Donald Trump, Elon Musk was set to sit down in a face-to-face interview, and it was set to take place on X, which is formerly known as Twitter X. It didn't get off the ground really because there was a load of technical glitches. Are you surprised?
Absolutely not. I mean, we've known since, you know, the election process was getting ready to get started, like with the debates and everything, that there have been rumors going around that people were going to start trying to hack and start trying to manipulate the election. And this is just another example of that. And it's kind of disappointing because this is a $40-50 billion company. Twitter is. So for this to happen, come on. If you're worth that much money, you should have more people in your on your staff that can help prevent this.
I don't think this had anything to do with that. I think that you know, people will call me a conspiracy theorist or whatever, but you know, listen. The deep state, the Democrats, they don't want Donald Trump speaking, and they knew Elon Musk would ask questions that Donald Trump would probably out some people that needed outed, and I think they done what they needed to do to keep this man quiet. You know, at the end of the day, you know, you can believe in consequences all you want, but you know, sometimes there's too many consequences, and I think this is a situation that, you know, this was rigged, and I think that there was a reason why this interview didn't get off the ground.
I mean, and this was one time where he was just going to get on there and have a regular interview on X/Twitter. You know, the last thing you want to do is make him angry and get him back on there and have him tweeting, you know, 10 or 15 times a day. Like, you should have just let him do this interview and be done with it.
Yeah, that's true. Janice Roden says Jim Matney, she went to school with him, said everybody at school liked him, said if you talk football in the mountains, you talk Jim Matney. And I agree with you, Janice Roden. He was a legendary guy. So, you know, but, you know, that brings up, you know, right now, you know, there's a war between good and evil with the Democrats and Republicans. You pick what side you think's good, what side you think's evil. But, you know, this election, I'm really afraid that things are about to get really nasty. And didn't they just set a date for the debate?
I believe it's September the 10th.
Yeah, September 10th. You know, that's going to be something that everybody's going to be circling their calendar for, to see him and Kamala Harris square off. That I don't think there'll be any punches pulled in that one.
It will be must-watch television.
100%. So JJ, people have stopped spending money. They're tired of inflation. Americans are tired of inflation, prices going up, and you know, they're starting to hold back their spending habits like they was before the COVID pandemic. You know, are you surprised that America is finally getting fed up?
Absolutely not. I mean, I'm one of those people that's trying to cut back on my spending as well. I mean, you know, whether it's choosing a different brand than I normally would choose, or always waiting till everything goes on sale. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, we have to do something. Otherwise, it's just going to continue to, like, they're just going to continue to increase the prices. So, I mean, I think that this is a good start to maybe getting things back to normal.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it is, because right now I think, you know, people are price gouging America, and I think a lot of the lot of the stuff is just ridiculous because it don't take that much to make certain items that they're just blowing out, and it's really supply and demand. They're just price gouging people on supply and demand, and I hate to see it because America's built on Americans spending their money and stuff. I just want to see a Christmas again when people can, I want to see malls come back where people can go out, they can have fun, they can see each other, and not everybody live on these things right here. I hate cell phones, JJ, as you can tell, these things in my mind has ruined America. I just read a great article this morning where one of the parents are trying to fight phone companies from allowing kids at a young age, 12 and under, to possess phones that can get on social media. They can have phones for games and stuff, but when it comes to social media, they're trying to make sure these social media companies really tighten down on letting kids 12 and under have access to that. And I think that's a great thing, man. I think these phones have ruined America. I think it's ruined our social skills. I think it's dumbed down America. And, there is a lot of good things that happen from a cell phone, but I also think that, there's a lot of negative that comes with it too, especially in, our neck of the woods.
Absolutely. And I'm like you. One of the things that stands out to me is the inability people have to be social these days. That's like the last time that I went to a bar to shoot pool. I would say 90% of the people that were there were sitting at tables and they weren't even talking to each other. They were all on their phones.
Yeah. That's life.
And another statistic that I saw recently was they're saying that 10 years from now that reading, just regular being able to read, is going to be considered like a skill.
Yeah.
I mean, the stuff that we're taught from like kindergarten up until, whatever grade, that's going to be considered a skill.
That's the America we live in right now.
Yeah. I mean, and I would love to know, like, as far as ranking goes, like as far as intelligence level or educational level, I would love to know where we're ranked, like, as far as like compared to the other countries.
Well, rankings are going to continue to go down as U.S. colleges are cutting majors and slashing programs after years of putting it off. A lot of programs got a lot of money when COVID come around, and they started up programs that they didn't naturally have. And now it's causing a lot of students problems all across America, as a lot of kids, have took and went out and got student loans and going to certain colleges because they offer certain programs. And now that they get there, these programs are getting cut and they're not there. So the major they went for, or the minor, ain't there anymore. And it's leaving kids, take and get a job, and they save up money and they put all their money into apartments and, different things to help them in certain cities. And then they're just having to uproot and, say, okay, now my student loan won't cross over to this school, or, so it's leaving a lot of kids in turmoil right now. There was one college cut 72 programs. They said on average, colleges are cutting around 40 programs. That's huge.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. That's another thing that gets to me. It's like the American dream is slowly fading away. I mean, for my generation, which is a millennial and Gen Z as well, like there's so many people out there that try to say that our generations are lazy and that we don't want to do this and don't want to do that. But then if you look at what colleges are doing, not only are they overcharging for degrees, but they're also taking away majors. And it's like, what's the point in even trying if you're fighting a losing battle?
Listen, you go to college, you're built up with all this student debt, and now you may not even get a major in what you went for originally, and then you spend all these years taking classes to help you in this certain major, and then all of a sudden that class ain't there, so you're stuck having to start from scratch what you just spent the last 3 years trying to build up to.
If you're able to take the class and successfully graduate, the first thing that a job is going to want to tell you, or a company, is that you have to have experience.
Yeah, that's well, Bradley Dameron says, I mean, some colleges are just downright shutting down right now, especially smaller private colleges. Yeah, was it Alderson Brodus that just shut down in West Virginia there, Bradley? Let us know. I think that was who it was. Said D&D not woke. Mike Perry says absolutely not. Jimmy Johnson says that on the colleges are raising the tuition cost over the past 3 to 4 decades to a point where an average person can pay for even 10 years after graduating. So I agree with you there too, Jimmy. Cost of colleges have to go down as well. We have to figure out a way to get that perfect median. Now, as we're moving on, JJ, Darren Peterson, just after we broke the news, Killer Cam Mercer yesterday, within 30 minutes after you heard it here on D&D and we put out the article, Darren Peterson announces he is going to spend his senior season at Prolific Prep out in California. Now, I personally hate this move because I've grew a relationship with Darren and his family over the past couple of years. He was the number 1 player in his class, number 1 guard in his class. Cam Boozer is the number 1 player. I hate this because I would have loved to send him in Huntington for his senior season with Killer Cam Mercer. I wish him the best and his family the best. Still call them friends. And we'll always root for him, be a huge DP fan, but I wish he would have stayed in H-Town.
Absolutely. I mean, it would have been nice to be able to drive, 80 miles and be able to watch him play?
Yep. Bradley Dameron says Alderson Brodus shut down last year, and Notre Dame College in Ohio just shut down a few months ago. Janice Roden says, Jimmy, I agree with you. It is the parents' fault for buying them for the kids. Said, I think these games are hurting the kids, our kids these days. Parents using them for babysitters, talking about cell phones. I agree with you, Janice. Agree with you tenfold on that. As Davy Jude, the pride of Kermit, West Virginia, Davy has qualified for the U.S. Amateurs in Minnesota. No surprise there. Davey is a state champion golfer out of Tug Valley. He won a state championship as a sophomore at Tug Valley. Ended up spending his last 2 years at Martin County or at Sheldon Clark. I love watching Davey on the golfing circuit because Davey, he gives us something to be proud of here in the Cofield. This man is one of the best when it comes to the golfing world. I would love to see him go win the U.S. Amateurs.
Jesus. I mean, how many good golfers do we have in this area? It seems like every single show you're giving me news about another golfer that's dominated.
Yeah, well, Davey's a grown-up. He's a local businessman. Randy Casey at Tennessee Wesleyan will be having his elite camp August 25th. Make sure you guys get out if you're a top prospect. Want recruited by Tennessee Wesleyan, this is a great opportunity for that to happen. Go see Randy Casey and Jaron Tall and the coaching staff at Tennessee Wesleyan on August 25th. Contact Tennessee Wesleyan, Randy Casey, or D&D for more info on this camp. Chloe Crace picks up an offer from Alice Lloyd. This girl will be the surprise of the mountains. A lot of people don't realize how good this young lady is. Now that she gets to be more of a leader, she's going to be the veteran on this team. This season, she will be, I'll go ahead and go out on a limb. She'll be one of the biggest shockers in the mountains. People don't realize how good she is. Her offense feeds off her defense. Great floor general, can knock down the open shot. Had a great summer with Arctic Rush. She got a lot more offers coming her way, JJ. Congratulations to Chloe Crace.
Absolutely. And she put up a solid stat line last year. What was it as a sophomore? She put up 6, 4, and 2?
Yeah, 6, 4, and 2.
Yeah, that's really good.
So, JJ found a lawyer's in a little bit of trouble.
Uh-oh.
Would you like to know who?
Yeah, absolutely.
Randy Martin make sure I get his O'Neill. Randy Martin O'Neill. This guy is the lawyer for McCoy McKinney, and right now he's facing some possible charges from Judge Eddie Coleman in the Amber Spradlin case. Said that from what the article said is that McKinney's defense is citing lawsuits in court. They're trying to get his case dismissed, but he's citing former lawsuits that never happened, and they're trying to make him go back and cite them, but he's not going back and citing them. So, right now, Judge Eddie Coleman is in danger of giving MK McKinney's defense contempt of court charges if they can't figure a way to cite the court cases that they're citing in court.
No, that's not good at all.
So you know what I'm saying? Like he's saying, like, well, back in '95, the Roe versus Wade case or something like that, and they're not finding any validity to the cases he's citing, but this he's a lawyer. I think he knows what he's doing. It'd be interesting to see who comes out on top in this one.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing this because
So as we move on, JJ, did you know that Steve Kerr will not get a gold medal?
He's the head coach for the team.
The head coaches do not get gold medals. Did you know that?
No, I've never. What do they receive? I mean,
they don't get gold medals. In 2008 or 2016, I think it was, the players that have won gold medals gave Mike Krzyzewski, Coach K, theirs. The players that had already won them. It was a great heartwarming story where they come and gave them, if they'd won a gold medal before, they gave it to Coach K.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Steve Kerr, I hope one of these players, I hope LeBron steps up and gives one of his gold medals to Steve Kerr.
I would say, or the kid that didn't get to play, was it Halliburton?
Jason Tatum and Halliburton.
Well, I think Tatum got to play in the gold medal game. I think he got like 11 minutes.
Well, I liked Halliburton's comments. Jason Tatum and his mommy are whining because Tatum ain't getting a play, and Halliburton says, he said he's just excited. He said it takes me back to high school. He said whenever I got an A for doing a class project, that I'd done nothing to help out. So, but that brings up a question. Do you know how much gold medals, Olympic medals, are worth, JJ?
In the United States specifically, I know the gold medal, or what the players or the people receive. Like I know they get like $36,000 if they win a gold medal.
No, do you know how much the medals are worth theirself? Not taking it out like it's LeBron's or that it's anybody else's. If you just went to sell this at a store and to be melted down, do you know how much they're worth?
Maybe $3,000 tops.
Okay, is that what you say the gold's worth?
I'm gonna say $3,000 to $3,500.
$3,500. What do you think silver's worth?
18.
Okay. What do you think bronze?
1,000.
All right.
How close? Jesus.
Gold medals, $900. Silver, $486, and a bronze, $13.
Oh, come on now. $13, really?
Yep.
Jesus, that is unbelievable.
So they said gold worth what, like 40,000? No, right there is what the gold. If you melt it down, that's what it's worth right now. And there was I was listening to a show yesterday, and they said 1,200, but I went and done my research. Right now with the price of gold, it's $900 is what gold medal's worth. So I guess it being certain Olympians, that's what really makes them worth money. But if you're going to just sell one of these babies, you're not going to get much out of it. You're not going to get what you think it's worth.
Do you think that how many gold medals do they give? I mean, I would have to see how many what do they give? About 200 gold medals? Maybe.
I have no idea. Right here, no, more than 200 because there was 80 between China and so there's 80. There's 100 in the first 3.
What do you think a fair price would be for a gold medal? Like as far as like what they spend, like for example, like a championship ring, they spend probably $20,000 to $30,000 on each individual ring. Like for Super Bowl rings, what do you think would be a fair price for a gold medal?
I think you should at least make it where they're worth 15,000.
15,000. So
yeah, because you got to think these people will spend 4 years training to win these gold medals, and you're spending 4 years for what? Basically $900.
Yeah.
I say give them a little more. There's actually some countries. I think it was maybe Taiwan, or the Philippines, that if you win a gold medal, one country, I think it might have been Taiwan, that if you won a gold medal, you get exempt from having to go to boot camp and having to join the military.
Yeah, and there's some places that give you a house, like a penthouse.
I'm getting to that. The gold medal is well, you done messed me up here. What was I saying? The gold medal in one country, a guy was in he was in first place in the golf and ended up getting passed on the last 2 holes. And this guy broke down crying because he was going to have to go join the army now. And I think that was in Taiwan that was happening. It's pretty neat that they'll get exempt from military service if they win a gold medal, but it's heartbreaking whenever they don't. Now, you go over to the Philippines, like you were saying, in some countries, they give a house away. In the Philippines, they give a $250,000 or no, $500,000 home away is what it said. And not only do they get a $500,000 home, they get a lifetime supply of ramen noodles, which was very odd. They get lifetime supply of eating at a buffet in that country. It has to be a buffet, but you can go every day to eat for free, but it has to be a buffet. Trying to think what else it was. What else was that they gave that guy? Like they loaded this guy up. Like this guy got so much stuff for winning a gold medal. It was the country's first ever gold medal. And I'll dig it up and try to get everything this guy got. But he got like a load of stuff, a truckload of stuff for winning that gold medal. Now, here's the thing. You give that guy all that stuff, all them free ramen noodles, all that food. How do you think he's going to perform next Olympics?
We'll just have to wait and see. And it looks like Bradley Dammer mentions in the comment section you got free colonoscopies for life as well.
Yes, free colonoscopies. And, them. How many do you get in a lifetime? I mean, what, 2?
I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not old enough to make it to my first one just yet, but hopefully just one. I have to do just 1 or 2.
Jimmy Johnson says 99% are going to be resold for profit, never melted down, though. You're 100% right, Jimmy. And that's what makes them valuable is who won them, and it being an American gold medal. People's going to pay a lot more for that. I would say 1%. You might see an athlete get on hard times that might actually sell and melt his down or something, but it's very rare you ever see a gold medal melted down. Jimmy Johnson says lifetime supply of ramen noodles. That's a value of $500. I agree. The Bradley Dameron says you get a ton out of them with a collector. Just don't sell them for scrap. Yeah, that's what we were just talking about, Bradley. LeBron, it being LeBron's medal is going to make that baby worth upwards of $200,000 probably, to where if he goes and sells it, it's going to be $900. So, gold medals, I guess they're worth a lot more to people for memorabilia. But if you was to just go sell it for scrap, you're not getting much out of it, JJ.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm like you. They should be worth more than $900.
They should. You would think so, but they're not.
Mm-hmm. What about that gold medal behind you?
Forgot to wear this, baby. For you guys that don't know, I broke in the Olympics in style with my Smoky Mountain Cannonball champ. JJ, I don't have it readily available right now, but we'll bring the video back someday and let people see what a real Olympic diver looks like.
What greatness looks like.
Exactly. The greatness at its best, JJ.
Absolutely.
So, JJ, what's your plans for today?
I'm going to do some sales and advertising, and I'm going to do my homework for the show tomorrow, and probably try to get a workout in outside. I'll probably go shoot some hoops and try to get myself back in shape.
You are a liar. You're not working out, JJ.
I'm going to shoot some hoops, That's my definition of a workout. The weight room, I've never hit the weight room before in my life.
Never?
Never.
What do you think your max is?
Probably less than 105.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure, honestly. It's these guns right here. I don't have much to work with.
I don't know, JJ. It looks like looks like you got a little bit there. Looks like you got a little bit of meat. I think you can lift a milk jug.
It just so happens because I have an extra tight shirt on. That's what it is. It makes me look bigger than I really am.
Well, they definitely want to thank everybody today, JJ. I have really enjoyed today's show with Arkell Bruce, Wes Hager. Been a great show from top to bottom. Guys, if you got topics, you got stuff you think we need to be talking about, make sure you guys send them to us. You can send them to us personally, or you can send us through the D&D page. We will make sure that we get to them, talk about them. Also, guys, starting tomorrow, we want you guys to start calling in on the Double Quick hotline. Make sure you guys give us a call every day. Let us know what you think about our topics. If you got subjects you want to talk about, we look forward to hearing from you guys. And JJ, going out in Olympic style, I'm going to show you here what it's like to win a real gold medal. So, guys, till next time, so long and good day.